Arizona, one of the hottest places in America. Every summer, the desert sun pushes temperatures above 110 degrees. Every summer, dozens of people die from heat stroke. Now imagine this. You're a delivery driver. You're running packages for 12 hours a day. You're exhausted. You're thirsty. And then you see it on the side of a driveway. A cooler full of bottled water waiting for you, free of charge. But what if I told you that same cooler became the center of a war? What if I told you that the man who put it there was slapped with a $650 fine? This is the true story of David Martin, the man who tried to save lives in the Arizona heat and ended up in a nationwide fight against his own HOA. David Martin, an everyday guy living in Goodyear, Arizona, a suburban community run by a homeowners association. He's not a troublemaker, not an activist, just a man who noticed how brutal summers were on workers. In Phoenix and nearby cities, 2024 broke records. 645 people died due to heat-related illnesses. Delivery drivers in Arizona report carrying 3 to 4 gallons of water a day just to survive their routes. One day, David noticed an Amazon driver collapse in the middle of the street. Neighbors rushed to help. That image stayed with him. So he came up with a simple idea. He bought a cooler, filled it with bottled water, and left it at the edge of his driveway with a handwritten note. Take one if you need. To him, it wasn't activism. It wasn't a statement. It was just human decency. But to his HOA, it was a crime. And that's where this story takes a very dark turn. A few weeks after setting out the cooler, David gets an official letter. Bold header. Notice of violation. His crime. An unapproved exterior object. The punishment? A $650. Think about that. $650. For water bottles that cost him maybe 20 bucks. At first, David thought it was a mistake. He called the HOA office, expecting a quick fix. But they told him flatly, rules are rules. He asked, what rule did I break? They replied, all exterior modifications must be pre-approved. Even a cooler. Even bottled water. Even kindness. And then came the threat. If he didn't remove it, the fines would increase. Daily. But instead of backing down, David decided to fight back. And that decision would change his life. Frustrated, David shared his story online. It started with a small Facebook post. Then local news picked it up. Soon it was everywhere. TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, national headlines. Americans were outraged. How could a man be punished for saving lives in the desert? Within days, David's story spread across the country. Neighbors he'd never met showed up to help. Strangers from out of state mailed him cases of water. And then came donations. Thousands of dollars from people who wanted him to fight. In just a few weeks, David raised nearly $50,000 for legal expenses. The cooler was no longer just a cooler. It was a symbol of compassion versus control. But the HOA wasn't finished. They were about to push harder. And what they tried next shocked everyone. HOA doubled down, insisting David remove the cooler. Board meetings turned chaotic. Some neighbors sided with the HOA. If we let him do this, what's next? Random furniture on lawns? Chaos. Others sided with David. This is Arizona. People die without water. This is not about furniture, it's about lives. David organized a campaign to vote out 3 board members. Heated meetings followed, shouting matches, personal attacks, even threats of lawsuits. HOA boards are powerful. They can place liens, they can fine you into debt, they can even foreclose homes. But David wasn't scared anymore. With the country watching, he had leverage, and he was determined to fight. But here's the question. Could one man really take down an entire? The cooler inspired others. Soon, multiple homes in the neighborhood started putting out water, snacks, and shade umbrellas for drivers. Social media dubbed them the Water Warriors. News outlets compared David's fight to other viral HOA cases. The veteran fined for flying the American flag. The mom told to stop her kids' sidewalk chalk art. The family fined for putting up Christmas lights. David's story became part of a bigger narrative, HOAS acting like dictatorships. The cooler wasn't just about water anymore. It was about freedom, about the right to be kind without asking permission. And across America, people started asking themselves, are HOAS protecting property values or destroying community spirit? And then came the bigger question. What does this mean for the 70 million Americans living under HOA control? In the U.S., HOAs govern 70 million residents and 40 million homes. They collect billions in dues, enforce strict rules, and can even foreclose on properties. Many residents feel trapped, forced to obey rules they never voted for. David's story became the spark for a larger debate. Should HOAS be allowed to punish acts of kindness? Should residents have more power to challenge them? Where is the line between order and tyranny? David Martin may be just one man with one cooler of water, but what he did lit a fire across the country. He reminded America that rules should serve people, not punish compassion. Today, David Martin is still fighting his HOA, but whether he wins or loses, he's already made history because a cooler of water became a symbol of something bigger. So here's the question I leave you with. If rules punish kindness, are they really rules worth following? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you believe compassion should never come with a fine, share this video because stories like David's deserve to be heard.